2016 is a year in which the Ministry of Defence and the UK must somehow achieve a balance between the money that they've been given, the military needs that they've been asking for, and the political aspirations which exist. And those political aspirations have a degree of ambiguity that sits within them. For example, what is the first priority of British defence? Is it Daesh or Russia? Now, these are very important questions because the force structure that you design for combating Daesh is not necessarily the one that you focus on for conventional deterrence for Russia. Those forces that you design might therefore have a degree of exclusivity to them. Not just a boutique force, but the fact that things for conventional deterrence cannot do things for countering an insurgency like Daesh. That degree of ambiguity that exists reaches across into other specific areas. The question that exists in terms of, do the UK invest in resilience or does it go for agility in a military force, still has to be worked out because neither force is adequately resourced at the moment. And the danger is that at the end of 2016, the UK could find itself as it did in 1915, with a force and an idea of how it wants to fight that leaves it way behind an adversary and unable to deliver success, much like happened at the Battle of Dogger Bank in January 1915 or later in the year at the Battle of Jutland. And all of this for the UK needs to be placed against a wider context where the US looks increasingly towards withdrawal, a new presidential election, and increasingly landlocked global land borders, which means the freedom of action for leaders and nations take place at sea and in the air rather than on land as we've seen traditionally. This leads us to a very difficult but lively year where we're going to see some of those actors test where the UK normally finds places of sanctuary and safety. We're going to be tested in terms of how we fight an adversary who doesn't necessarily work with the same moral, legal and ethical standards that we do. And that leads the UK into some very difficult places intellectually. Indeed, the year ahead promises to be one of the intellectually most challenging years in a generation.